Welcome back to WePC. My name's Will, and today we're going to be unboxing the Corsair 4000X. We have the white and the black version. Okay, so these are brand new cases from Corsair. They came out maybe 2 months ago. We got our hands on these, I don't know, a week or two ago. I've been building quite a few PCs with these. I used to absolutely love Corsair cases back in the day, especially like the Obsidian. However, recently I kind of moved towards Phanteks. I like the P500, originally the P400, the RGB one, as well as a latest iteration, the P500, which seems to be quite difficult to get hold of right now. Stock seems to be very difficult to find. And because I like the P400 from Phanteks and the P500, I also started looking into their Evolve X, which is kind of one of their more expensive cases, and completely fell in love with that as well. So Corsair have kind of gone under the radar for me for a bit until these cases came out. And when they did come out, I saw the price point and saw the changes the Corsair have made to the brand, and felt that I needed to really get hold of them and basically review them and start building in them, which, you know, is the best way you can review a case, is to build in it. So today we're just going to be doing the unboxing. So as mentioned, Corsair have got a white and black version of these cases. So this is the 4000X. They also do the 4000D variant. The difference being the 4000X comes with 3 RGB fans on the front, 3 120mm RGB fans on the front with a glass panel front, whereas the 4000D basically comes with a metal mesh front, which we'll show you later. We do have a few around the office at the moment, and that originally comes with 2 non-RGB fans from what I can recall, and slightly lower price point. So the 4000X is kind of their higher end, if you call it that, at least from a price point perspective. Obviously having the 3 RGB fans as well. Personally, I actually prefer the 4000D. I prefer the metal mesh front. No real need to talk about the actual packaging. Same old. If you've built a PC before, bought a case before, all come in typical cardboard packaging with the foam outer and the plastic inner. More expensive cases, and I hope all cases start to shift to this, come with a cloth material rather than a plastic material, which I absolutely love because it means I don't get the shock off it. However, seems to be the cheaper cases still come with the plastic wrap. So please, Corsair, if you're listening, please start using the cloths for all of your cases. I think they do that for the 500D, which obviously is an expensive case. I think that's like 250 quid. It's the one that has the 2 glass side panels that kind of wing out. Phanteks also do it with their Evolve X case. I think the 500 as well. I think that has a cloth bag rather than this plastic one. This is the first time, so this is maybe the 9th or 10th one of these that I've opened, the 4000D, 4000X. For this unboxing, we're gonna probably stick with the white just because it's a lot easier to pick up on camera. However, the black variant is right here. We will be doing a build of both of these, so yeah, check out that in up and coming videos. Okay, so we're gonna take a closer look at the Corsair 4000X, the white case. I'm a massive fan of white cases. I've only built in one white case, and actually it was a Corsair case quite a while ago, one of my personal PCs at home. And to be honest, for budget, kind of like mid-tier PC case, I say budget, to be honest, it's like $120, 110 quid. So it's not exactly budget, but it's kind of in line with the mid-range PC cases. And I think it actually looks really nice on first aesthetics. I do like the white and grey accents. I'm glad that they kind of didn't just go for an all white case. I like the fact that they've added the grey plastic at the front here, and also the grey dust filter at the top here. Also, it's worth noting, these new Corsair cases have gone with a complete new rebrand for Corsair. Basically, they've started to, I'd say they've started to add more attention to detail with the cases, especially from a branding perspective. You will notice that on both the black and the white version of the cases, there's yellow accents in various little parts. So we have this little yellow rubber Corsair branding on top here. We also have, kind of similar to how Razer do with their USB, with their laptops and their peripherals, they always have like a little green accent inside the USB port. Razer do that with a little yellow accent, which I really like. I like the color. Obviously it stands out really well with the white, and it does also with the black. The last little part of yellow that they have is these little rubber grommets on the thumb screws, which again is a nice, neat little feature. You know, every little detail counts, I think. And especially when you look at the budget cases, like sub £50, there's always, the attention to detail is just not there basically. You know, so that's one good thing. The 4000X, as I mentioned before, comes with 3 RGB fans on the front. These are 120mm fans. I think they're the SP iCUE, the new versions of the SP iCUE that they brought out. As I mentioned, on the 4000D, you don't get the 3 RGB fans. That's why it's slightly cheaper. The 4000D's $80 / £79.99, so £80, $80. What you do get is 2 non-RGB 120mm fans on the front. So I'd want to go for the 4000X because of the 3 RGB fans, because to buy these separately, I think they're 40 to 50 quid for a triple fan kit. However, I really want the metal mesh front, which we'll show you soon. It's a lot better for airflow, obviously, and I personally feel it looks better as well. However, we have the 4000X right now, and we're gonna check it out in a little bit more detail. So I'm just gonna take off these side panels. So the side panels are kind of going to this new, it's kind of like Fractal design. I think I remember was probably one of the, I don't know if they were one of the first ones to do this, but the whole clip on, clip off rather than the slide off, slide on, which I massively prefer as well. Size wise, the case is mid-tier. It's very similar size to, it's probably a little bit smaller than the Phanteks P400 and the P500. Very similar to the Be Quiet. I can't remember the model, but the one that's at a similar price point as this. Pretty decent, to be honest. I don't like massive cases, especially if you're not going to utilize the space with water cooler and whatnot. I guess it would be a similar size as well to the NZXT H510. Probably a very, very similar size. We do have one, I think, over there, but I might get some cases out later and check the sizes, but yeah, it's a good size. As well, on the inside, I like again that they've gone with the grey for the back PCIe slots here, and as well as that, what else is grey? Obviously the grey feet. All blends in quite well together, all ties in quite well. So obviously it's a glass side, not Perspex, as you would expect from a 100 quid case. I also like the fact that Corsair have gone with a little bit of branding on the internals of the case as well. It's not something you see very often with case brands. They basically added the little Corsair logo, and again with the yellow accent on the cable shroud here, and also the model number on the PSU shroud at the bottom here. Obviously it's quite difficult to see once the side panel's on, if at all, to be honest. But I kind of like it. It's, you know, it takes no energy for Corsair to go and do something like that, but I think I appreciate it at least. As well as that, obviously good to know is obviously vertical mounting. Everyone likes to vertical mount their GPUs these days. That's already here. You don't actually get the vertical mount kit as part of the case itself. I assume that's just an additional accessory you have to go and buy, as with most cases at this price point, to be honest. But it's good that it has that option. Just quickly moving on to the front I/O. Obviously on button, one good test, at least for me, from reviewing quite a few PC cases over my time, is to literally just press the on button. A lot of cheap cases or cases that have just, you know, I feel not past quality control, have like really, you know, the buttons shake a bit or just don't feel solid when you push them. This button feels absolutely solid. That is like my go-to test for PC case reviews, is just to press the on button. I honestly think it has a massive difference. We've come across a few cases in the past, which are like £200 cases, where the on button just kind of like moves from side to side, which I just think is just, you know, you're going to press it every time you turn on your computer. As well as the on button, obviously you have USB Gen 2 C type, obviously headphone jack, obviously a reset button, only one USB a port, which is a bit weird. I would have assumed we might have had 2. Most cases have 2. I would have probably preferred 2, just because I do, depending on again where the case is, but typically I do use my front USB ports quite a lot, as does a lot of people, to be honest, because who wants to reach around the back of the PC case? So I would say, as a kind of like point to Corsair, maybe add another USB port on the front. As I said before, this is obviously the 4000X, comes with the glass front, which this is difficult to do on an angle, but basically just clips off at the top and at the bottom. As well as that, obviously you have your filter, just typical plastic filter as you would always expect. And then the 3 RGB fans. Not much to say about the RGB fans, to be honest. Corsair fans, I really like them. They do work very well. They are quite pricey when you buy them separately, which really annoys me, but that's just, to be honest, a lot of PC brands are these days. But yeah, really nice fans. It is very plasticky, this front, which to be honest on most cases are at this price point. Yeah, not really anything negative to say about that. We're just going to move on to the other side panel now. Just unscrew these slightly. I do really like these screws. And then yeah, just clips off like that. On this side, so obviously they've added this cable management routing system here. Obviously your SSD brackets. Interestingly, they've gone with the kind of Fantex, you know, the whole cardboard box with your screws and stuff in. I do like the way Fantex, I know I keep talking about Fantex, I do like the brand, their cases are good. But the whole plastic screw box is nice, it's a nice feature. Yeah, so Velcro straps, which I assume are additional ones for cable management, as well as that, obviously you're just typical cable ties. And then, yeah, PSU screws, SSD screws, motherboard screws, and just a few extras. Obviously your HD drive bays. Also on the back you will find the Corsair Lightning node. On first glimpse you think it's just a normal fan controller, but it's not. It's the Corsair Lightning node, which hooks up to these 3 fans at the front here. They all obviously plug into the Lightning node, and then obviously have your 4-pin PWM cables to plug in directly to your motherboard. The Corsair Lightning node itself has 1 USB cable, which again just plugs straight into your motherboard. So that's very simple. On first glimpse, to be honest, I'm just looking at from a PC builder perspective where I'd cable manage. There's quite a lot of options at the top here when routing cables, and I do like the fact that they've added more areas where you can cable tie. I do find that's quite a limitation on a lot of cases. They generally have 1 area here, and that's kind of it. On some of the more expensive cases, you usually have some tunneling here as well, like again on the Evolve X and also the 500D. However, I like the fact that they've actually added areas here to cable tie or put cable bases, whatever it might be. Whether or not I'd use this particular route here, I'm just thinking once you've actually got your PSU cable and your graphics card cables coming this way, it might be quite thick, so I'd probably reroute these cables down here maybe, and then use this just for the GPU and the PSU cable, and maybe a handful of other cables. But ultimately you've got quite a lot of flexibility here. Depth-wise as well, which is another thing, a massive issue I had with the Corsair 500D is the depth of the actual side panel, and the cable routing was a massive issue for me. Which is one reason I don't use the Corsair 500D, sorry. However, with this, it's definitely deeper, which basically means you can have a thick bunch of cables here if you can't be bothered cable managing too much, and then when you come to put your side panel on, it's not just going to hit the cables itself. So that's good. Yeah, overall I like it. It's going to be easy to build with. You've got this channel here, you've got a channel there, and also because of these, you've also got a channel there. In terms of the PSU, I assume that slides in this way because there's no back entry. Is it not? Yeah, there's no back entry, so it'll just slide in, which again, I prefer as well because it's just easier to cable manage and to connect the PSU and then slide it in. I've done that on the Fantex P400s, P500s quite a lot. So yeah, overall, really nice case. Again, for £110, $120, especially the fact that you get the 3 RGB fans, I think it's really good. If you did want the mesh version, we're going to show that in a second. Again, that just comes with the 2 fans, but you can get the fan kit. I think it's about 40, 50 quid. So I assume it's similar in the US as well. So we have the 4000D airflow at the side of us now, and obviously the 4000X, which we've just unboxed. The reason I wanted to get this one up is basically just to show you the difference between the 4000D airflow and the X. As I mentioned before, it's simply this metal mesh front here, which obviously you can imagine provides a lot more airflow, i.e. why it's called the airflow. And as I mentioned before, the difference in price is basically this one's £80, $80. This one's £110, $110, $120. This one comes with a 3 RGB front 120mm fans. And this one, the airflow, comes with, I think it's 2 120mm non-RGB fans. So if you did want to get the RGB fan kit, then you'd have to buy that separately. I'm hoping Corsair will provide the metal mesh front as an additional accessory for those that want to go and buy the 4000X, just so you can mix and match. It would have been nice if they added it to the box like Fractal do with a lot of their more high-end brands, high-end cases. However, I can understand and appreciate at this price point, it's probably not feasible to do that. As I said, I do prefer the 4000D airflow. I think it just looks nicer, especially when it's turned on. But yeah, these are our 2 cases. Other than that difference at the front, they are, from what I know at least, I think I'm 99.9% right in saying this, they are basically the exact same case otherwise. I'm just looking, there's no differences I can see. Obviously this is a black case, they do the white case as well. So obviously I mentioned before, the Corsair white case here, the 4000X, obviously has the internal branding in grey with the yellow font, yellow accent. The black one just has the yellow accents again, obviously as you can see there on the top. And then internally it has the branding in grey, again with the yellow accent. Other than that, it's the same case. It's really nice looking cases. So would I recommend this? Anyone that's looking for like £100, $100 case, I definitely consider the Corsair 4000D/4000X. Really at this price point, the only other things you've got are the Be Quiet and the Phanteks P400/P500, depending if you can purchase it or not. As in what I'd actually recommend. The NZXT H510 as well, it's quite an old case now. I've built on it a few times, but probably not one of my favorites. This is definitely one of my favorites right now. As I said before, I've got 10 to 15 of these cases now that we're building in. So yeah, we're going pretty heavy Corsair at the moment. Okay, so this has been our Corsair 4000D/4000X unboxing video. We're gonna go and take these bad boys now and building them. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, hit the notification bell and leave a comment. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.